Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home.
Good morning. Good morning, my brothers. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Dear Brother Podcast. Good morning to my YouTube audience, my Facebook audience. Happy Friday. You made it, bro. You made it. You made it another week. You made it another week. You thought you couldn't. Things were rough. And guess what? You did it. 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 Love yourself today. Clap yourself up. Sometimes you got to put your hand on your own back and say, you know what? I did it. I got through this week. You know, some of you might have had hard stuff this week. You know, sometimes the hard stuff isn't always outward. Sometimes the hard stuff is inward, you know, but congratulations, man. You made it this week. You made it. It's happy Friday, baby boy. So you're even happier if it's payday today. But whatever this Friday means to you, guess what? You mean a lot to me. I wake up excited, man, to get on this computer. Man, I'm tired this morning. I guess it's the end of the week for me too, but we made it. We made it. We made it. We stepped up to the challenge, man. We took care of our families. Most of all, you took care of yourself, man. So I congratulate you. I say you're a champ. So happy Friday, champ. Very, very proud of you, man. I hope you're doing good. If you're in the chat, drop a line, drop your name, say good morning. Tell me who you are, where you're from. And tell me how your week was, man. Was your week sunny? Was it bright? Was it rainy? Was it stormy? Tell me about your week, man. Jump in that chat. Tell me about your week. If you got any questions, man, throw them in the chat. I always like to talk back and forth about your issues, man, about your life. If you had a good week, man, say I had a good week. If you had a bad week, say, hey, Christian, damn it, I had a terrible week, man. I ain't do so good this week. In fact, Christian, I failed this week. Hey, man, me too, man. I got into it with my old lady on some emotional tip I was on, man. So my week started off mad cloudy, man, and then it got brighter and brighter. So that's how my week went. My week was tough, but guess what? I found myself more in love with my lady because we were able to get through my stuff. It wasn't even her stuff, man. It was my stuff, you know. I was exhausted, tired, couldn't find my way. So that was affecting her and it was affecting me. And guess what, man? Hey, we made it. Challenging week. All right. All right. You had a different kind of week. All right. Eric, when is you fired up? You ready to go? Okay. Good morning, my baby girl. I love you so much. You had a challenging week. That's what weeks are. They challenging. They challenging, man. Sometimes we put a religious spin on things and we say, man, everything's good. No, sometimes everything's not good. Anitra, hey, my dear sister. I got all these sisters on the Dear Brother podcast in the morning. It's something else because on YouTube, it's the same thing as women on here every morning, I guess, learning about us guys. But hey, let's get into it this morning. I want to talk about stop talking yourself out of it, bro. Stop killing your own dreams, my brother. Stop killing your own dreams. You're killing your own dreams. It's not your money. It's not your money that's killing your dreams. It's not your lack of money that's killing your dreams. I was just getting prepared for the show this morning. I kept on saying to myself, man, Lord, I just need you to bless me this way because I got these ideas. And you know what? As I'm teaching, God is answering me right now. It's not money that's killing your dreams or lack of money that's killing your dreams. It's you. It's you not seeing yourself as you should. That's your issue. Is you not seeing yourself as you should see yourself. You're still seeing yourself. I say this almost every morning, and I think I need to. You're not the mistake you made. You're not the last decision you made. Right. I think that you've held on to things too long. Right. And you're killing your dreams because you're not believing in you. And this is the biggest thing. I want to say this because I feel this even more. You're not trusting you. You're not trusting you. I want to talk to a person on this podcast, a brother or a sister. You're not trusting you. You didn't. Your last decision was bad. It might have landed you in a tough consequence. And so you say, you know what? I don't know. I don't trust my decisions. Hey, you got to trust your decisions. You got to go back to trusting you. And sometimes things fail. I want to say this clearly. Sometimes things fail so that you can make an adjustment. It doesn't mean jump out the window. It means make an adjustment, right? So stop killing your dreams. That's what we want to talk about today. John the Baptist in the Bible, they say John was the greatest of all the prophets. That's what they said. John was the greatest of all the prophets. And John was almost not born. John was the greatest of all the prophets, and John was almost not born because his father was an old man that doubted that God could get anything done through him. And so there was a message sent to John. John, you're going to have a son. John, you're going to have a son. This is what we do. This is what we do to ourselves, gentlemen. When we think something good about ourselves, the self-doubt speaks back first. Soon as God says something, soon as your heart says something to you, soon as your encouragement says you can do this, the first thing that happens, the enemy reminds you of why you cannot do it. And that's natural. That's natural. That happened all throughout the scriptures. It happened all throughout all religions. Anytime God spoke to a person, the first thing that popped up is the reason why they can't do it. It happens to all of us, right? I was headed to Guyana to speak to men 2 weeks ago, and I spoke there for 4 days. And I hadn't traveled. I hadn't preached a lot. I hadn't traveled. I'd just been writing. And the first thing I did as soon as I got on that plane, I've been doing missionary work around the world since 2007. And you know what my mind told me? You can't do this. You cannot go into Guyana and speak to these men. What you know. And then I start looking, you're an American, even though I face homelessness and sickness and dialysis and everything else, I still said, I haven't suffered like people like those men in Guyana. What you going to say to them? And really, you know what it is? Your mind is trying to talk you out of your greatest days. Oh, man. Good Friday. Goodness gracious. Your mind is trying to talk you out of your greatest days. And you have to refuse that. I went over there and I started teaching and telling my testimony and teaching them principles and teaching them out of the book I wrote. And you know what they said? They said, we've never heard a man come and just open his heart like that. Here I am the whole time about to talk myself out of it. What are you talking yourself out of, bro? What have you been talking yourself out of? I mean, some of you have been talking yourself out of stuff for years. It's been years now. You've been saying, man, I've told myself 3 years ago I was going to get that done, man. I told myself 2 years ago I was going to start that. I told myself 3 years ago I was going to change. How many times have you looked back and said, man, if I had started when I said I was going to start it, but you talked yourself out of it. You didn't feel capable. You didn't feel able. Look at the word I'm using. Feel, feel, feel. You cannot let your feelings talk you out of things because your feelings are too frail. They change too much. Feelings are fickle. Feelings are too fickle to follow. You hear me? Your feelings are too fickle to follow. You have to make a decision and don't be double-minded about it. How do I stop being double-minded, Christian? I start believing in who God made. You didn't make you. Come on, bro. Good morning, my man. You didn't make you. You didn't make you. God made you. And you didn't, that idea that you have, that business idea that you have, that thing that you're pursuing, you didn't do that. You didn't make that up. God put that in you. And when God puts something in you as a man, he makes himself responsible for getting it through you. So what's my part? Your part is believing beyond yourself. Come on, man. Your part, what part do I play, Christian? Your part is believing beyond yourself. Believing beyond you. You're not the mountain. God is the mountain. Beyond you. Believe beyond yourself, beyond your capabilities. Let's get into this, man. I can teach to y'all all day. Goodness gracious. Let's get into this. So stop talking yourself out of it. The greatest prophet, Jesus said John was the greatest prophet ever born, and he was almost not born because the channel he was supposed to come through doubted. There are some things God has put in you that were almost not born because you didn't believe in your ability. But it's going to be born after the day. It's going to be born after the day because this is Friday. I'm going to call it a Good Friday. This is Good Friday. Every Friday is Good Friday. I don't know what it's the 13th, September 13th. It's going to change after the day. Five points on how you stop talking yourself out of your better days. 5 points on how you stop talking yourself out of your better days. Self-doubt sabotages progress. Self-doubt sabotages progress. And the question is, why are you doubting yourself? That's the question you got to ask yourself today. That's the conversation you got to have. You know, as men, we always ready to converse with somebody else, help somebody else. This is the question. As a man, the best conversation you can have is with yourself. With yourself. Sit there and question yourself. Sometimes you got to interrogate yourself out of your doubt. You got to interrogate yourself out of your doubt. I'm going to say it again. You have to interrogate yourself out of your doubt. You have to do it. You have to interrogate yourself out of your doubt, man. You got to question yourself. You got to question yourself. Why am I feeling like this? What about me can't do this? What about me is not able? What about me? You got to ask yourself, why do I believe this about myself? This is another question. Who put that there? Who put that there? Who put that thinking there? Did that thinking come from when you were young and somebody broke your heart? Did that thinking come from when you were young and your parents said something to you that stuck with you? I know when I first started traveling and speaking when I was young, I was I graduated college and I came home and I said, Mom, I'm gonna speak for the rest of my life. I can't see myself working for anybody. I'm gonna speak for the rest of my life because I've been speaking since I was 14. And as I come in the door one day, I heard my mom and dad didn't know I was in the house. And I heard my mom say to my dad, hey, your son, he said he's going to speak for the rest of his life. He don't plan on working for nobody. He's going to work for God. He's going to speak the rest of his life. And my father said, as his way on his way up the steps, well, I don't know who's going to take care of him. I'm not. He had no idea I was in the house. And I forgave my father for this. I never even conversed with him about it because I knew that moment was for me to hear. That was a moment of the enemy. That wasn't personal. I'm going to throw this in too because I'm a spiritual teacher. I know what you need to hear. You have to let people off the hook for the times the enemy used them against you. You have to listen to me. You have to be discerning enough to let people you love off the hook for times that the enemy used them to try to separate you from your greatness because it wasn't personal. It was the enemy working through their voice. And you will never have any connections with anybody if you don't discern that there are moments where there are things people will say to you that the enemy used them to say it. The enemy won't use an enemy to say nothing to you. He will provoke someone that you love, because the way to get you to believe it is to do it through somebody you love. Why do you think the enemy came through Eve, or worked through Eve to get to Adam? He couldn't have that conversation directly with Adam. He couldn't. And for you ladies on here, no, I am not about to set Eve up as the reason of the world, of the reason the world fell. No, it was Adam's fault. But the enemy knew the only thing that can get to Adam is his girl. I can get to Adam through his girl, right? I can make him self-sabotage. Who in your life, my goodness, who in your life, my man, has made you self-sabotage? Who in your life told you you broke? You don't got enough education for that. Look at your credit. You don't, man, you ain't got, you don't. Watch those people in your life who are committed to reminding you of your past. And let me say this to you. Anybody in your life that's committed to reminding you of your past needs to stay right there in your past. Don't carry someone with you that's trying to carry you backwards. You can't take nobody with you that wants to walk backwards. Self-sabotage. Number one, constantly questioning your ability of your future potential. It will prevent you from taking steps. So interrogate yourself out of it. Believe in yourself, even when things are unclear. You got to believe in yourself, brother, when things are unclear. For those of you just coming in, I'm teaching today, stop killing your own dreams, how to stop killing your own dreams. Believing in yourself, even when things are unclear. Listen, when I retired from pastoring, and I got everything all set up, I said, okay, my life is going to go this way, right? I never in 1,000 years believed that I would work for God for 26 years with my whole life and end up living in a car. Do you realize at that moment, I said, what the hell just happened to my life? I stopped believing in myself because things were very unclear. I'm like, well, how can I'm cool with not having. I've never been rich. In fact, I'm so thankful to God because everything I have, really, I never had a check for it. Everything I have, I asked God for it and God worked it out for me, right? I never had the resources. I had God. But because I served him all them years, I'm like, man, you like this right now, you got me in a car with COVID, with a bottle of water and dropped 40 pounds. How in the world, why'd you do this to me? And in that moment, everything was unclear. I stopped believing everything that I thought about me. See, the thing is, I never doubted God. I just doubted me. Honest to God, yo, I never doubted God. No matter how bad it got, when I was on dialysis machine, when I was dying, I went blind one time when I was like 22 preaching on Ogans Avenue because my diabetes went all the way through the roof, which I don't have no more, thank God, right? I served God that way. And all these things, I stopped believing in myself in that moment. Things were so unclear. But a step toward progress is when you get in an unclear position. The best place for you to be is when you don't know. You don't know. I'm going to tell you, this is what the enemy wants you to believe. He wants you to believe that when you don't know what's going on, it's time to panic. But I'm going to tell you something. If you believe the enemy, then believe your brother. The best place for you to be is when you don't know. The best place for you to be is when you don't know, when it's beyond you. That's the best place for you to be, because that's when you are willing to let go of your strength as a man. See, we're taught as young kids, as boys, be strong, be strong, be strong, be strong. And you know what sometimes we take our human strength as men that they told us to have. Be this kind of man, be strong, don't cry, stand up. And that's why it's so hard for many of us to submit to God as men, because we were almost taught we were gods growing up. We don't have feelings. We. And life will teach you that you are not as strong as you believe. Life will teach you that. So number one, how to stop killing your own dreams, self-sabotage. You got to stop the self-sabotage. You got to investigate, interrogate yourself out and question yourself, constantly question yourself as a man. Constantly question yourself as a man. Let me see. Anybody got any questions or anything? And if you got any questions, put something in your chat. Good morning, Ron McGee. Good morning, Aaron Packwood. Good morning, my friends. Number two, the way to stop talking yourself out of it. Listen, opportunities won't wait for you. Opportunities don't wait for you. They don't. They don't. They don't. I know that many of us are spiritual, and we are spiritual is no problem. Religious is a problem. But sometimes we sit around and act like we don't have any duty as religious people, as if God is going to do everything for you. Let me tell you something, my man. The God, you still have a duty upon your life, just as much as Adam had a duty upon his life. God gave him a garden, but told Adam to keep it. Listen, brother, you can't sit back and just believe things are going to come together for you. No, you have to take the moment. When there's a moment, you got to take the moment. When there's an opportunity, you got to take the moment. If you've been depressed and you're having one good day, damn it, take the moment. Take the opportunity, because it's that day that'll drag you out of the 7 days of depression. You got to seize the opportunity in your life. Brother, seize the opportunity to apologize. You hear me? Some of you married men, you got a girl, you got a wife, you got somebody to love you. Seize the moment to apologize. When you're sitting there saying, damn, I was wrong, seize that moment. You know, if you don't seize that moment, you'll talk yourself out of it. Sometimes that apology is the one. In fact, I ain't saying sometimes. When you feel led to apologize to your children as a man, when you feel led to apologize to your wife as a man, that means that a door just opened for some type of healing to take place. And you can't sit there on a pride seat and wait, because that opportunity won't wait for you. That opportunity won't wait for you. There's some opportunities, brother, that you allowed your pride to talk you out of, because you couldn't break yourself to say, man, I'm sorry. We got to check ourselves as men when we can't do enough just to say, man, I'm sorry. I did that wrong. That's manhood. Manhood is not sitting in a seat saying, man, no, I'm good. I'm prideful. I want everybody to think I got it together. Because sometimes, men, that pride, while you're trying to hold everything together, everything's falling apart at the same time, only because you won't break your pride and say when you were wrong. Those moments, those opportunities, some of you that are raising daughters, do you realize, man, oh man. Ooh, I'm about to be between crying and screaming in here. Lord, you as a man with your daughters, you got a certain amount of time to show your daughter what a man looks like, to show your daughter what fatherly love look like. When your daughters start getting 17, 18, 19, they're not paying as much attention to you. When you are your daughter's prize, when you are the king in her world, you better feed that moment, because you're preparing her for her future. Don't just say, oh, I'll get back. Oh, that's just my baby girl will always be there, or my little baby boy will always be there. No. There's a moment as a father. You can't miss when you impute your wisdom, you impute your experience. Do you hear me? Don't talk yourself out of it. When you have wisdom for your children, I don't care if they 5, sit them on your lap and speak to them, because what they don't understand in the natural, they understand in the spiritual. Stop talking yourself out of your greatest days. Opportunities won't wait for you. Better days often come disguised as opportunity. Your better days often come disguised as opportunity, right? Your better days, they're disguised and they're challenging, right? They're challenging opportunities. Do you know, with David and Goliath was a door to walk through. He wasn't a real enemy. He was a door. You got to see, gentlemen, hear me this morning. You have to see these opportunities, or you got to see these challenges as doors, not dogs. Yeah. This is an opportunity for you to be everything you've been wanting to be. Stop talking yourself out of it. Christian, I ain't got the credit. Christian, I ain't got this. Christian, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Christian, I ain't got the degree. Christian, I ain't finished my associates. Christian, all you need is you. What did I tell you the other morning, bro? Everything you need is already in you, merely waiting your recognition of it. Everything, you already got it. Everything you need is already in you, waiting for you to recognize it. That's why you got to spend more time recognizing you than trying to understand everything around you. If you really get a good grip on yourself, you'll get clarity on everything that's around you. Number 3, your mind shapes your reality. Your mind. Your mind shapes your reality. Stop letting other people create your world. They'll always create it too small. Your mind shapes your reality. Your mind shapes your reality. That's why your mind has to be your slave and not your master. You have to tell your mind what to think. Oh man, coffee with Christian. Get your coffee, bro. Some of y'all that got heart problems and blood pressure and all that, make sure your coffee is decaf. Oh, and put a little cinnamon in it. It helps you. Your mind is your slave, not your master. Your mind shapes your reality. That if my mind is the shaper of my reality, that means I have to give my mind something to look at other than my negative thinking. Give your mind something to chase, it will chase it. Give your mind a reason to go down, it will go down. Your mind doesn't have control of itself. You hear me? Listen to me, brother. Your mind does not have control of itself. Prisons and graveyards are full of men who didn't know that their mind was their slave, not their master. Your mind is your slave. So you got to give your mind a reality. This is where I'm going. This is where we're going as a family. This is where I'm going as a father. This is where I'm going as a husband. This is where we're going. We're going to move here. We're going to live in this neighborhood. Y'all going to these schools. You got to give your mind a picture. If you give your mind a picture, it will chase it. The thoughts you entertain influence your actions. The thoughts you entertain influence your actions. If you constantly entertain what you can't do, your body will say you can't. Your mind speaks from your neck to your feet. And if your mind says you're not capable, your hands will believe it. If your mind says you're not capable, your feet will believe it. But if your mind says you can, you will. You have to control your mind. Listen to yesterday morning's podcast when I talk about how men have to protect the soul. You have to protect your soul. What is your soul? Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. You got to protect that above all things. The world, the secular world, wants us as men to protect our money, to protect our stocks, and all these things will pass away. On your worst day, you will have your mind. When I sat in that car, homeless, I had to protect my mind. You know what I did in that car? I saw myself. It was days I said, okay, I'm on a journey with God. It was days I said, oh my God, I cannot make it. So you know what I did? I pulled out this cell phone right here, and you know what? I start writing a book. I start writing a book right there while I was homeless. I start writing a book, and that book turned out this. That's why my passion is for men. That's why my passion is for you, right? Because in my worst day, I start writing this book in a car. I didn't write this book on a nice in Starbucks, man. I wrote this book right here, homeless in a car while having COVID. I sat there and wrote a book. In fact, the end of it, I talk about the very days of my homelessness in that car. Right. I talk about staying in. One night I had enough money because my body was so hurt from laying in the car. Then one night I had enough money to get like a $49 Airbnb that happened to be in Feltonville, where my church was that I served for 26 years. I laid there and I wrote something in here. God spoke to me. It's almost like when I was homeless, he took me on a journey. He took me on a journey all the way in a full circle. I'm going to take you back to the neighborhood you pastored in, and I'm going to have you lay there. I didn't have any money that night. I was so hungry. I had the $50 to pay for the room. I just wanted to stretch my body out. It was some guys across the street making pinchos on the grill. Some of y'all know what pinchos is if you got a little hood in you. And I went across the street to get a pincho, and I think I had $3 in my car, and the guy was like, "Oh, they $5." I said, "Man, okay, no worries." And I went to walk away. The brother said, "No." He said, "No, Poppy gave me two of them." And I said, "Man, I got $3." He said, "Man, have a good night, man." You understand? In that moment, you got to take control of your mind. You got to take control of your mind. Your mind shapes your reality. I had to believe that at some point I wouldn't be where I was. I had to believe. I needed to be there. But I had to believe at some point I wouldn't be there. Your mind is not your slave. Your mind is your slave. It is not your master. Speaking negatively about your future traps you in that cycle of defeat. It's a cycle of defeat. You got to understand it's a cycle. That's where the enemy wants you. It's I almost got there, but I didn't. That's where he wants you, right? Because that hurts worse than just sitting back when you're trying and as men, you've tried. I'm trying to do this for my family. I'm trying to do this. And it's a cycle of failure that he wants you in. You failed that time, you're going to fail again. You're not going to fail again because you have better wisdom this time. You don't have more money now than you did then. You got more wisdom now, right? Wisdom, I'm going to tell you two things that'll change your life as a man. Wisdom, where are these balloons coming from? Okay, wisdom and pace. You want to change your life? You change your life through wisdom. Okay, I'm going to stop putting my fingers up because these stupid balloons keep on coming. Wisdom and pace. Those are the two things you need. Wisdom and pace. Those are the riches of a man. The riches of a man are wisdom and pace. If you can honor how you think and slow down long enough to think about it, you can go anywhere you want to go in life. All right. Anybody? Let me see. Any questions in the chat? Your mind? Yes, your mind is your slave. Not your man. Hey, Dolly Carter, how you doing? Huh? God bless you all, man. Thank you so much for coming in. Y'all ladies is coming in the mail room. Y'all just in our business. I don't know what it is. Y'all better be here learning how to pray for us. Speaking negatively about your future can trap you in that cycle. Number 4, fear is temporary. Regrets last longer. Fear is temporary. Regrets last longer. Fear is temporary. Regrets last longer. Fear of failure or the unknown is often why men talk themselves out of pursuing your future. Fear of failure. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I almost didn't do these podcasts. I got this podcast, Dear Brother podcast, and I have the Christian Activist podcast. Something saying, man, people don't want to hear you. Who you think you are? What you know? I almost never set these podcasts up. The other day, I just said, you know what, man? It was the enemy said, you don't got nothing to say to nobody, man. Just fold it down and shut your mouth. You're going to fail, man. Nobody want to hear you. And I almost talked myself out of continuing podcasts. See, the enemy, I always got an inner conflict, man. There's always something there trying to stop me from going forward. And then, every time I really, really believe it's over, man. Don't push it no more. It's over. You ain't got nothing left. God sends somebody, a brother, a cousin, somebody to be like, man, hey, man, don't stop, man. That thing really blessed me. You know why? Because I don't teach this stuff because I got it together. I teach this stuff because we trying to get it together at the Dear Brother podcast. This is the community of men where there's no judgment and no stars, man. The star is wisdom. Number five. Oh, we didn't go enough into number 4, I don't think. Fear is temporary. Regrets last longer. While fear fades and regret of not trying, man, they'll last a lifetime. You got to understand this. That thing will make you fear. If you let fear take you over, it will last a lifetime. You gotta walk fear out of your life. You gotta take fear by the hand and walk it out of your life. Number 5, you were built for more. You were built for more. You were built for more, brother. You were built for more. Every man is unique, and every man has a unique potential that's waiting to be unlocked. Talking yourself out of better days denies the world of your contribution. Talking yourself out of better days denies the world of your contribution. What are you saying to us, Christian? Brother, what I'm saying to you is it's not just about you. There's a world. There's a world around you that needs your gift, that needs your love, that needs your ability, that needs your words, all the things that you think aren't good enough. There's people sitting out there waiting for that unique you to change their life. Not just your family. There are people connected to your jacket. What's your jacket? My gift, my personality, who I am. There are people connected to you that need what you have, and that's your reason not to fold. Right? John almost wasn't born because his daddy didn't believe that he was. So you know what? Let me close here. John the Baptist wasn't born because his father believed he was too old. How many things are you stopping from being birthed through your life as a man because you're using all the excuses of why you're not capable? This podcast wasn't an accident. Today we covered the 5 reasons why men talk themselves out of it. Stop talking yourself out of it, bro. You can, you will. Stop talking yourself out of it. Do you know that when an innovation hits your mind, God already knows what's wrong with you. You already know what's wrong with you. And that business model or the thing that get whatever you have that come to your mind, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because something's in your way. Stop talking yourself out of it. What are you talking yourself out of? What have you been talking yourself out of? Oh, I ain't good enough for marriage, man. I can't be a one woman man. Why can't you? Oh man, my kids, man, I ain't been around them. They won't accept me. Your kids are waiting for you to come back, bro. Oh man, my old lady don't want me no more, man. I messed up. So, but you know that there are some women that are just waiting for you to get yourself together. Oh yeah, some of them gonna move on, bro. You screwed that. Come on. Sometimes you just screwed it up. But there are some women who are sitting there saying, I really love this guy and I wish he got himself together. Oh man, I can't get that job. I don't have it. Everything you need is already in you, merely waiting your recognition of it. Everything you need is already in you, merely waiting your recognition of it. Everything you need is already in you, merely waiting your recognition of it. Stop talking yourself out of your future. Stop talking yourself out of your ideas. Stop talking yourself out of business ideas. Stop talking yourself out of healing ideas. Stop talking yourself out of better family, better future. It will be better if you decide. That's all it takes. You got to decide. You got to decide. Dear brother, the advice. Hey man, every morning I'll go on here and I'll ask you some questions. Well, I won't be asking questions, but if you have any questions, man, you need advice on something, man, I'm here. Advice, relationship advice, parenting advice, man, business advice. I'm here. I'm here. I love giving advice and speaking to you guys like this more than anything else, man, because speaking is okay. Giving you principles is okay. But my goal is not to have a big mega mass men's ministry. Do I want to touch men globally? Yes, but in a discipleship way. I want to be able to sit with men, visit their homes like I did in Guyana. I stayed in the hotel. I stayed in the village so I could shake hands, right? This is our village. Let's shake hands. If you got questions and things like that, you can put it in the chat. If it's very personal, you could put it in my email, christian@christianwinners.com. Also, gentlemen, visit my website. Because some of you need counseling guidance. I have counseling and guidance only for men. I do not counsel women. I only counsel men. Go to my website right now. I also do group counseling for men. So I do groups of 25. And that's a good day. I have a whole day. I did it in Rochester, New York. I did it in Guyana in South America. But if you have a church or organization, a masjid, a community center where you want to gather men and we start working with men, go on my website. You can book that now. Okay. And go on my website also and buy your book. Home Where Hurt Men Heal. You can get that book right now on Amazon. All right. It's for you. All right. You can get it right now on Amazon. Go get that book. Okay. And if you want to give, I'm headed at the bottom of the screen. You'll see it. I'm headed to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, to speak to men there. I'm also looking to open door in Haiti. So if you want to be a blessing and allow me to continue these podcasts and to continue to spread it and also to be a blessing in these other nations, you can buy my books that will help me do it. You can also send a Cash App or a Venmo support to help me do what I'm doing around the world. This is my life. This is all I'm doing. I'm spending the rest of my life raising up men. God started in the garden with a man. The Bible starts in a garden with a man and it ends in a garden with a man. All those books in between was a journey of a man getting back to himself. And brother, all you got to do is get back to yourself. Daggone it, go home. Go home so you can heal. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. No, I won't see you tomorrow morning. Monday through Friday. Coffee with Christian.